It's week 5 of 40 of my challenge to get to 10k per month within 40 weeks. And I wanted to run through with you some lessons I've learned over the past 5 weeks, not working full time on the business, working part time in my evenings and on the weekends. So, what I want to take you guys through is firstly what I am doing so far. So, this is going to be mostly outreach focused essentially because my main goal currently is getting clients in the door, and I'm sure that's your main goal as well. At this point in time, I have sent over 754 messages. That's accurate to today, to about 5 minutes ago. This is all manual outreach. So I made a conscious decision that I want to learn the exact outreach methods before I automate. I think that's going to be useful for my knowledge, and obviously it takes a lot of time at this point, but I think it's worth it in the long run to understand each element and understand it quite closely. Obviously the volume is lower, but that's something I'm aware of. I'm targeting construction firms. So our niche is construction firms in the UK, right? So that's who I'm targeting. So when I'm doing my connections on LinkedIn, I'm looking for directors, I'm looking for business owners. I'm not looking for managers, to be honest. And I'm tracking it through an Excel spreadsheet. I don't have some fancy CRM. I don't have anything like that. We're trying to keep costs low. And I'll show you the Excel spreadsheet right now, actually, if we can bring it up. So you can see here, this is exactly what I use to track. You can see the outreaches, the responses, the leads from that, the sales calls, and then the percentage response rate and lead rate. And I do this manually every day and count it manually. I do not have an automation software for that, which I probably should, but that's just where I'm at right now. So in terms of my outreach and how it's changed, obviously I've only been doing this for a month, but I've learned quite a lot in a month. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I feel like I have learned quite a lot this month. So this is what I was doing originally here. So hi Martin, I hope you're doing well. I came across your profile and the work you're doing at whatever. At Market Maestro, which is our company name, we help directors in construction strengthen their online presence. Would you be open to a quick chat? So here you can see it's pretty, it's not actually customized basically whatsoever. And the problem was that sometimes I would customize it and it would take me a while to customize it. Even though I was using ChatGPT, I had to copy their profile. If you don't have ChatGPT Premium, you have to copy their profile over, do this, do that. So it was taking a decent amount of time to get messages out. They weren't that customized or personalized. And, it just wasn't working very well. It's a bit wishy-washy. We're just starting a conversation. We're not too salesy on LinkedIn, but it just wasn't performing too well, genuinely. And it wasn't really resulting in sales calls. Compare that to what I'm doing now, only a month later. So, hey, I know you probably get loads of sales messages, so I'll keep this short, right? So hopefully that grabs their attention. I help construction firms improve their online presence and get more inbound leads. So here, we're directly telling them that we're going to provide them value, right? And giving them a reason. Then we're saying, this week I'm offering a few free audits and no strings attached. I'll just send over the insights and you can action them if you like. So this is what's called an added value campaign, right? This is purely just to focus on adding as much value to the customer as you can with no expectation of anything else in return, right? We're saying it's completely free. Obviously, we do want something in return, and what we want in return is a call with them. So we provide them this audit of their social media presence, and it does actually add quite a lot of value, especially when you're doing the audit and you're doing it to a high standard. I feel like it adds quite a lot of value. They see that you add the value, but you've also presented them with a problem because you're saying, hey, your website's rubbish, your LinkedIn's rubbish, you're not posting, you've got all these things to do. And they're probably thinking, oh, I don't have time to do all this. Then we come along, hey, well, we actually provide a service which we can do this all for you to a very high standard. Would you be interested? Right. So just to be very clear, this isn't lead generation services. This is social media services. So LinkedIn posts, Instagram posts, website design, right? I'll get onto that later. You see how my messaging has changed. I think the new message is better. We'll look at the statistics and we'll see if that shows up. I'll show you that later. But I think this new method is better. It's more natural. It's not too heavy. It's not too long. Not that this was long, but I think it's better. So what I realized didn't work and what caused this change from this message to that message was that, in my opinion, in my non-expert opinion of only doing this for a month, you either need to be super specific or pretty generic, right? So you either need to have a super personalized message to what they've asked you or to their profile. You need to spend the time and make it a quality message, or you just, the only customization you need to do is, hey, their name. In my opinion, because this, if you're in the middle, right, you're just wasting time because you can't get a lot of volume out in your messaging. You can either, basically, you're just in the middle zone where nothing's getting done. You can't get a lot of volume and your messages aren't very good, aren't very, quality. Whereas if you're doing it very personalized, you increase your response rate, but you do less volume, or you do high volume, your response rate reduces, but you're sending so many messages, it doesn't really matter. So in my opinion, I'm taking the more generic side, but by virtue of the people that I'm messaging, the people I'm messaging are directors, they're construction firms. So my product is tailored towards them. The LinkedIn profile I'm messaging from is all about construction firms, marketing for these construction firms. So it is personalized in that way. It's not like I'm just shooting a shotgun into the wilderness, right? So that's what I learned. I think that adds quite a lot of value, and I think it's a good lesson that I learned. Moving on. So my results so far, in terms of just the actual statistics, right? So the goal of this YouTube channel is just to be as completely straightforward. There's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of all that rubbish, and I'm not a guru yet, right? Maybe if there's money in it, I'll be perfectly honest with you. If there's money in it, obviously you need to keep your ethics, but I will, sell courses or whatever if that comes to it, right? And I'll add value. But so far, I'll show you my results. So if we come back to our spreadsheet, make this a bit smaller. So you can see here, this starts on the 28th. That's when I started. Let's just take the whole statistics, right? So in terms of outreaches, 754 outreaches. I've had 34 responses, okay? With 9 of them. So a response, even if they've just said no, I've tracked that as a response, okay? Then an actual lead, someone who's actually interested, was 9 people, okay, from 754, right? So that's 4.64%, this figure here. 4.64% were actually interested. So this is something to bear in mind. I think this is bad, okay? It was 7.4%, okay? So bear that in mind. The message I showed you before, this one here, was actually performing better in terms of the responses, right? So, but the new campaign only started a few days ago, like 7 days ago. So that's something to bear in mind. So I believe in this new message. If the figures don't show that this new message works, then I'll have to change my approach. But I do believe in this new message, and I have adjusted it. I made it shorter, which is the final version I showed you guys. Okay. So, and I'm also doing follow-up nudge messaging. So I didn't include this in the spreadsheet or the whiteboard, but basically, if someone doesn't reply to that message I showed you saying, would you be interested in the social media audit? I'm going back to them and I'm saying 4 or 5 days later, I'm saying, hey, I've only got 2 more spots left on the audit. Would you be interested? And that's getting additional responses and some leads. So that's just something to bear in mind. Okay. And then this is the brutal, honest reality. 700 messages, not a single sales call. Okay. One caveat I do have to this: we would have had 3 sales calls, but there was an issue. I don't want to get bogged down in the ins and outs, but essentially, I work with my brother. My brother does the service delivery. He's taking sales calls right now because I'm working full time. So, but he lives in Guatemala, so the time differences is basically mucking up the ability to take these sales calls. So we had 3 people, and it was just an endless back and forth trying to figure out time. So in December, when I quit my job and I'm working on this full time, the timing of the sales calls won't be an issue, and there won't be an issue in terms of conversion from a lead to a sales call if they want it, if they want the sales call. So that's something to bear in mind. So you probably could say we'd have 3 sales calls and maybe one of those would have converted, right? Maybe none of them would have, but that's just something to bear in mind. So those are my actual statistics, my actual figures. This is probably very realistic of what you can expect yourself. Okay, moving on to my future plans. So in terms of the offer, I think the offer needs work, in my opinion. Right now, what we are offering people is essentially social media marketing, as I said. So we'll do your LinkedIn posts, we'll do your Instagram posts, we'll do your website if you need a website done. We'll set up your LinkedIn page to make you look like the go-to. But I've got a feeling in these sales calls, if somebody doesn't understand the value of what we're providing, for example, if they're old, some old people just don't understand why social media is important, right? And how it can get you clients. So if someone just refuses to understand that, it's a very hard sale. So my future goal is simplify the business and focus on lead generation. And that means, in my mind, that means going towards social media marketing in terms of advertising. So Google ads, pay-per-click, and Facebook ads. And I believe we can charge a higher retainer, which will make our profit margins go up, right? So that's going to be my focus. I'm going to have one LinkedIn, which is my brother's LinkedIn, which is established. His LinkedIn will be for the current product that we're selling, which is the posts, etc. My LinkedIn is going to be for selling the lead generation, right? And I've got a feeling that's going to work a lot better. So in December, that's going to be my focus. But until then, I'm just selling the current product. I think this will speed up a lot our growth, and we'll be able to charge high retainers, and it'll be an easier sale, in my opinion. My next milestone will be just getting a first sales call. It's very basic. It sounds a bit pathetic, doesn't it? First sales calls, but this is realistic. In my opinion, this is what you can expect. Get our first sales call, or my first sales call. My brother has done sales calls, but get my first sales call, practice them. This is going to be a whole new skill set, and I'll probably record my first ever sales call and take you through what I've learned, what I could have done better. I think that'll be so valuable, because how often do you get to see somebody's first ever sales call? So that's the next goal, and I'm hoping this month we get a sales call, but I won't be able to take it because of what I mentioned. But we can still record it, and I'll probably upload it, even though it'll be my brother. So yeah, that's how the business has been going, and I hope you found that valuable, because I just want to help out, show some insight, show what your realistic expectations of your first month should be. And yeah, I hope you found this valuable. Please subscribe.